Namo Buddhaya Dhamma family. For today's short sharing, I am again going to share with regards to the life of a lay person. This reading is from Digha Nikaya 31. And here it talks about the ways in which we can spend our wealth meaningfully. Now, for many people who are not familiar with the Buddha's teachings, some among whom are my very good friends, they think that the instant someone becomes a Buddhist, a lay follower, he lives a life of self-deprivation, he denies himself many things, and their overall impression that a Buddhist is going to be a pretty miserable person. But that is far from the truth, because the Buddha had in fact stated that as we go and walk along this noble path, we will become increasingly happier. So if you are not becoming happier as you walk this noble path, something is certainly wrong. I shall read. The wise one endowed with virtue will shine forth like a burning fire. The one who works to gather wealth is like a bee gathering honey, or like ants piling up their hill. Having gathered his wealth like this, enough for his family and home, he can divide it in 4 ways, which will ensure he keeps his friends. With 1 part, he enjoys his wealth. With 2, he can manage his work. The 4th, he should deposit to use in times of misfortune. Now, dear Dhamma family, as lay people, this particular teaching is very useful to us. It starts by saying that the wise one endowed with virtue will shine forth like a burning fire. 2,600 years ago, there were no LED lights like you have today. There were no artificial lights, and the light is either from the sun or from a candle or from a fire. So the example used here is the wise one endowed with virtue will shine forth like a burning fire. He lights the way. He becomes an example for others. What is virtue? Wisdom is knowing what to do. Virtue is actually doing it. Again, you can see this is active. It's not passive. It's not just sitting there saying, may you be well, may you be happy. It is actually doing something for the personal happiness and for the happiness of family and friends and the community. The one who works to gather wealth, and again this is an important point, because there is a myth or a misconception among many that the instant you become a Buddhist, you will become a very horrible businessman, you'll probably lose everything in your investments. Well, that's far from the truth, because there is this concept called righteous wealth, in which the Buddha taught us that you earn your wealth righteously, which means without breaking the 5 precepts. You earn it with the strength of your arm, the sweat of your brow, honestly earned. And that righteous wealth, righteously earned, you can be wealthy and you can use it to benefit yourself, your family, and your community. So how did he describe this? He said it is like a bee gathering honey, or like ants piling up their hill. The analogy of bees gathering honey is wonderful, because the bee does not harm the flower. Instead, as you will probably know, the bee is one of the most important animals as far as our food supply chain is concerned. If all the bees are to disappear, we are in a serious shortage of food. Your fruits will not get to our table, the flowers will not get pollinated. But yet the bee that gathers honey does no harm, but only contributes. Having gathered his wealth like this, harmlessly, without breaking precepts, enough for his family and home, he divided in 4 ways, Here the Buddha is teaching us, how do you use your righteous wealth? Now, with one part, he enjoys his wealth. By all means, use that wealth righteously earned to have a comfortable life. Satisfy your needs. That comfortable life, as long as it is lived without breaking the 5 precepts, is a simple life that can be reasonably comfortable, and you'll be reasonably warm in a cold country and cool in a hot country. You will have good food. You will have all the things that can make your family comfortable and happy. With 2 parts, he managed his work. See, the Buddha taught you to invest your money back into your work, whatever it is. And the 4th part, which is very interesting, he should deposit to use in times of misfortune. Now, this is the emergency fund. This is the emergency resource to which we turn to during MCO and pandemics. So, here the Buddha has taught us, 1, you can enjoy your wealth. 2, you can earn your wealth. Wealth righteously earned without breaking the 5 precepts. 3, you can use that wealth to help yourself, your family, your community. And 4, you use that wealth to invest back into your work, at least half of it, so that it can continue to generate wealth and even keep 1 part as an emergency resource. It might be an insurance in today's modern terms, it might be an emergency funding, but nevertheless, it is to be kept for bad times, for rainy days. So, again, for lay people, there are lots of teachings like this. And these teachings are important because the majority of us are lay people, working, spending time with friends and family, and using our money in many ways. Here we are strongly encouraged to use that money in a manner which is wholesome and righteous. Thank you. Sukhi Hontu.